Brilliance Audio presents Unspeakable by Elisabeth Naughton, performed by Amy Landon. On a good day, Russell McClane could handle a family party. He looked forward to the chaos, to watching his pathetic brothers make fools of themselves bending over backward for their wives, to hearing his 5-year-old niece Emma's high-pitched shriek, and the way the sound set his youngest brother, Thomas, on edge. He didn't even mind the inevitable bickering that always accompanied a McClane family event, or the dozens of ways his brothers would razz him for being single in his mid-30s. But today, Rusty wasn't in the mood for family, or laughter, or teasing. Today, every second that ticked by until he could leave was torture, like plucking his chest hairs out one by one with tweezers. Just a giant, in-your-face reminder that he didn't belong in this family, that he wasn't honest and good-hearted like the people around him, that the really awful things he'd done in the past, not years ago, but as recently as last night, made him the outcast, the black sheep, the sinner. I swear! Hannah McClane swept through the patio door and shook her head as she moved around the kitchen island to where Rusty was standing, slicing tomatoes for the burgers his dad was supposed to be grilling outside on the deck. Your father is getting harder of hearing by the hour. I told him 15 minutes ago to start the barbecue, and he's only just doing it now. Rusty glanced through the wide windows of his parents' house on the edge of Lake Oswego, outside Portland, Oregon, and watched his dad toss Thomas a football as he slowly backed his way toward the barbecue where he was supposed to be playing grill master. All of Rusty's siblings were out on the deck, along with their significant others, chatting in the late spring sunshine. Somewhere around the corner, out of Rusty's line of sight, his niece Emma squealed and yelled, "I get it! I get it!" "Told you should have put Alec on grill duty," Rusty said. Hannah huffed as she set another cutting board and a head of lettuce beside him before turning to grab a bowl from the cabinets. "Alec burns everything when I assign him to the grill." "On purpose, so he doesn't have to work the grill," Rusty muttered under his breath, focusing on the tomato in his hand. His mother moved back beside him, pushed up the sleeves of her black cardigan, and reached for a knife from the block with a smirk. "Perhaps, but he's too distracted by their news today to be trustworthy. I'm afraid he'd burn his hand off if I put him near a flame." Their news was Alec and his wife Reagan's announcement that they were expecting another baby. The reason for this impromptu family party that Rusty couldn't wait to get out of. When he didn't respond, his mother glanced sideways at him, her sleek, dark hair cut into a stylish bob swaying near her ear. "Aren't you excited for your brother?" "Sure." Rusty moved the tomatoes he'd sliced to the tray and went to work on the onion. "Why wouldn't I be?" "I don't know. You just seemed quiet today. I wasn't sure if the baby was the reason." The baby was not the reason. He was happy for his brother, thrilled even. Alec and Reagan deserved some joy after everything they'd been through. Though Rusty was sure a new baby was going to cause his brother serious anxiety both before and after it arrived next fall. "I'm fine, Mom." He made quick work of slicing the onion and arranging it on the tray. Moving to the sink to rinse off the cutting board and knife, he added, "I'm always quiet, in case you forgot." He worked up a half-smile as she watched him, one that did nothing to alleviate the worry in her amber eyes. At 55, she had no wrinkles and not a strand of gray hair. She was still as youthful as she'd been the day he'd met her nearly 20 years before, when she'd come into his life and she and Michael had eventually adopted him. Too bad he felt a million years older. "I haven't forgotten. Doesn't mean a mother doesn't worry." "You don't have to worry about me. I've told you that before." He shook the water from the cutting board and set it on the rack to drain. I'm fine. I do, though. Especially when you show up with bandages on your hands like that.